Hello everyone, I am AtheistAnime and welcome to part 2 of why New Vegas is better than Fallout 4. And let's start the video today with enemy scaling, because I feel like this is kind of a problem that Fallout 4 has. It's kind of a problem with Fallout 3, but Fallout 4 is a bit more of a culprit of this. Basically, it's a problem with many, well, not really a problem with Bethesda games in general. It's just in Fallout 4, how it works basically. Certain enemies will only spawn once you reach a certain level, and this was true in Fallout New Vegas as well. But in Fallout 4, everything is randomly generated as to where it will spawn. Certain areas are more likely to have certain enemies. There are some guaranteed spawns, but it does make it so it's very, very random, and it kind of makes the wasteland not seem very organised, which is kind of a positive, I guess. It's kind of, like show that there's no order in the wasteland; it's all chaos. But in New Vegas, you knew where everything was. Like, you kind of knew where the dangerous areas were. You kind of know where the safe areas were. But it was still like the dangerous areas were still very close to the safe areas. Like, you could be going on a normal road, and off to the left there could be a Deathclaw nest. Like, in fact, on one of the main roads to New Vegas, there's Quarry Junction, which is one of the most dangerous places in New Vegas, and it's filled with Deathclaws. And this also, and Deathclaws are something that kind of stem from, like, have been weakened immensely in Fallout 4 from what they used to be like in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Because back in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, Deathclaws were a genuine threat. You could not fight them until you'd gotten to at least a mid to high level character. If you were lucky, maybe you could beat one in a head-on fight, but it was very unlikely. In fact, even really high level characters could sometimes have trouble fighting a lot of them at once. But in Fallout 4, because of how the game's structured and its level scaling, it's very likely that you'll probably not have much trouble fighting Deathclaws at all. Because, I guess because of the smarter AI, they've made it so like they don't just charge you straight away, but really, with a Deathclaw, that kind of makes the most sense. It was always, they were kind of, threatening because they just went at you, not caring whether or not you were shooting them. They just charged at you, and they would, give you a hug of death. And also, another problem with the level scaling, this is just the problem with Fallout 4 in general. The level scaling isn't balanced that much. Like, even a character in survival difficulty, very hard and stuff like that, they'll still be encountering level 1 to 10 enemies once you've reached like even level 50. Like, I've got a level 60 characters who's still running into regular feral ghouls and regular raiders, and even regular base synths, and it's just, that shouldn't happen because of this leveling system. I should be encountering like the synth patrollers and synth seekers and like raider veterans constantly all the time, to keep challenge up and keep the game interesting and not just be like, oh, I'm one-shotting everything. Because my character plays on normal difficulty, and yeah, I'm still encountering level 1 enemies, and it gets, well, it is fun to be able to one-shot everything with a little tiny pistol. It does kind of become a bit boring when I'm not being able to like have a bit of a challenge from the enemies. And it does also mean that there are some enemies I just haven't encountered yet, even as a level 60 character. I haven't encountered the Chameleon Deathclaw, I haven't encountered like an albino Deathclaw. There are some versions of Deathclaws I just haven't encountered yet. In fact, I haven't encountered a Yaogwai any higher than a regular Yaogwai because of how the leveling system and scaling works. I can't encounter these high level enemies because the game is insisting on keeping low level enemies around, which I don't understand. Because it can't be for companions because they scale with you, and it can't be for quest related characters because this is Fallout 4 and quest related characters are invincible. So it can't be for that reason. It can't be just because of your settlers, because they've designed the game in a way that monsters can't spawn close enough to settlements so that they'd aggro them. Yeah, you can draw monsters into your settlements and such, but they will never be close enough to naturally like aggro unless your settlement's being attacked. But which is just a that itself is a kind of a good thing. But it's also that's just been the case in every Fallout game. It's kind of a case in any game really. You're not going to see like a bloody like a dragon. I guess in Skyrim dragons do spawn. That's like a usual like event. But you're not going to see like some wolves spawning inside of a bloody town from like a random generation or anything, like a random event. And that's also kind of another slight problem. It doesn't feel like there's many random events in Fallout 4. Like, from what I can think of, there's like that one roaming doctor that you can sometimes find, and the 2 arts. and that one group of people who are like, oh, this was one of the people in our group is a synth. You need to kill them. It's like the only 3 random events I can remember. But in Fallout 3, this isn't the case in New Vegas. New Vegas was very specific in where you would encounter things. But in Fallout 3, there were many bloody random events. Like, and if you're really unlucky, you could end up encountering a Deathclaw at level 1. Go watch Many a True Nerd playing as you only live once run. He encountered 2 Deathclaws within like a span of 10 minutes. Oh, and yeah, last episode I was talking about unique weapons. I kind of did talk a little bit about the arm, but I went a bit more into detail about that. In Fallout 4, in fact, just power armor. That kind of includes power armor, just not just unique weapons, but also power armor. Unique armor in the previous games was unique, but in Fallout 4, really the only unique pieces of armor are the pieces of power armor. Like, I'm almost fairly certain you can't get a legendary power armor drop, and if you can, I haven't found one yet. So yay to Fallout 4 there, I guess. But because yeah, I'm pretty sure they do actually have some generally unique effects to them, like Tessa's Fist giving, like, I think 4 times durability to your armor, which is admittedly kind of cool. But it's a kind of more of a modding, well, not really just modding in general, because with the regular armor, like the regular armor pieces like leather armor, all that kind of stuff, like, you see a noticeable difference when you're upgrading the armor to different levels. But with power armor, once you get past rank 2, that just stops the armor from being rusty anymore. And yeah, there's the paint mods and that, but that's not really much. The only mod I can think of other than that is the jetpack, which adds a jetpack to your armor. But other than that, like the Tesla coil things you can get on the X-Zero armor, like those just don't show up. You just can't see them. They just says, oh, it's there. Don't worry. They're just not doing anything, which is kind of annoying, and it just shows my armor really, other than, let's say, a jetpack, just isn't any different from anyone else's power armor. But but again, back to unique armors, there were like genuinely unique things you could get in New Vegas, and some of them would be locked off to you unless you did certain things. Like Lonesome Road is usually 2 unique pieces of armor, one being a kind of power armor suit, and the other one being a Legion suit. But you could only get one, or you could get both, but only if you nuked both the Legion and the oh, by the way, spoilers for Lonesome Road here. If you nuked the Legion and the NCR at the end of the DLC. But if you didn't nuke the Legion, you can't get the Legion armor. If you didn't nuke the NCR, you couldn't get the NCR armor. And they're both pretty good armors. And there even comes with unique weapons as well, which is even better. But because of the fact that only the unique weapons and armors and such have these unique effects to them, that makes them unique. It's not just, oh, another legendary item. I'm going to stop rambling about legendary items, because if I keep rambling on and on and on about them, I'm going to sound like a broken record. And yeah, of course, how can I forget the dialogue system in Fallout 4? Okay, when I first saw it was going to be voice acted, I was a little bit skeptical, but then when I heard the voice actors, I went, okay, they're pretty good. And in an early game, it's not too much of a problem how the dialogue system works, but the dialogue system isn't very good when a lot of people are downloading a mod which changes it back to the original style of dialogue. And this also kind of stems into the problem I was talking about last episode about just there being no sequence breaking, because they've limited themselves to only having 4 choices per dialogue tree. This means that they're limited to what they can say, and also because now it's like pretty much just the agree answer, disagree answer, sarcastic, and more info. That's pretty much what the 4 options are all pretty much always going to be. There'll be slight variations on that, but it's usually just yes, like agree, disagree, neutral, and more information. That's usually what it is. Neutral, yeah, like they've been sometimes replaced with sarcastic, which is boring. It's frankly boring, the fact that those are the only 4 things. Whereas back in Fallout New Vegas, different dialogue trees could go in just the DLCs alone. Like in the beginning of every DLC, you had this huge exposition dump where you could go through multiple different dialogue trees over and over and over again, just talking about different things and getting a lot of information. And that's not really the case, because usually once you've picked one option, that's it. You can't get the other dialogue trees or anything. And that was kind of the case sometimes in New Vegas, but usually you go into one dialogue and then you could go back through it over and over again and kind of get all the information if you wanted it. and this is limitation of having a voice actor doing lines and such. So you can only record for so long. It's not like you can't just have them talk as much as you want them to because they're silent. Because this is a voice acted person, you only have so much time to record all those lines. And there's only going to be a certain point where this voice actor is going to go, okay, I'm getting tired now, when are we going to stop? And their performance is going to dwindle, they're going to suffer, their performance is going to suffer because of it. And this is also just a problem with Bethesda games in general, where they hire a lot, like not many voice actors to do a lot of characters and a lot of voice acting. Which, Bethesda, you should probably fix at some point. Like, just hire just a couple more voice actors, just so I'm not hearing like the same voice coming from like 20 different guys. One more final thing for this part. This part seems like it's going to be a bit shorter than last time. Probably not though, I'm not sure. The karma system. Why did they remove the karma system? This has been something that's been, I'm pretty sure, in the Fallout games since inception. There's always been a karma system like this. At least from Fallout 3, so, kind of a staple of the Bethesda Fallout games, kind of. But it did baffle me and pretty much everyone else when they removed the karma system. It's like, well, why? Why would you remove the karma system? It was a perfectly fine system, and it actually kind of made you feel bad when you killed innocent people and stole stuff from them. Because now, and as long as no one's seeing you, there is no consequence for stealing something in Fallout 4. Like, you can literally just take as much as you want. There's no consequence to it. You can just go back and you can just go off and sell it again if you want to. There's no consequence. Like in Fallout 3, if your karma got low enough, you'd be hunted by the regulators. If your karma got too hot, but if your karma got too high, you'd be hunted down by Talon mercs. Which frankly, being Paragon like that, you've actually made the game harder because Talon mercs will always have combat armor and assault rifles and such, so they'd probably be a bit more difficult than the regulators who just had the regulator trench coats, so like 4 damage resistance. But that's not the topic. Like, and like certain companions in Fallout 3 could only be like hired if you had a certain karma level, which was really the only bit of depth that the characters had in Fallout 3. But at least it was something. But you could be a complete arsehole, someone who's murdered countless people, but like a companion will still go with you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've done before. You could have massacred all of Diamond City. Piper will still go with you. Nick will still go with you. And the fact that the faction system, and yeah, the faction system is one more tiny little thing. The faction system is gone. Back from, well, I guess technically it's there's only 4 factions now. Whereas back in Fallout in New Vegas, every settlement pretty much was a faction. Pretty much every town you came across was going to be its own faction. They'd have their own likes and dislikes of you. Think of it like the bounty system from Skyrim. Basically, in every hold has a separate bounty for you. Like if you've got a 10 million bounty in Whiterun, the people of bloody Markarth don't care because you didn't commit the crime there. You committed it in Whiterun. So if you killed everyone in Novak, only the people in Novak are going to care, if there are any left. But the people in New Vegas, they don't care. People of Good Springs, they don't care. But then, say, if you killed everyone in Good Springs, only the people in Good Springs are going to care. But if you do a lot of good things for the different factions, again, say you helped Novak get rid of the ghouls over in the Repcon launch site, only Novak would care because you only helped Novak. And all the different factions do have their own dislikes and likes and dislikes. It's not going to be like either they like you or they hate you, which is how it works in Fallout 4. Basically, the Minutemen, you can never get the Minutemen to hate you. I guess they're kind of meant to be the yes man of the game, but like even if you screw everything else up with all the other factions, the Minutemen will always be there, handled in a pretty crappy way, but sure. But like, you either like the Railroad will tolerate you or they hate you. The Brotherhood will like you or they'll hate you. The Institute will like you or they hate you. There's no middle ground. There's no trying to recover it. I mean, I think there's one way of being able. Oh, no, I don't think there is a way of recovering from the Institute. If you become an Institute, you can go back and say, "Oh, you're not welcome here. Go away." And if you don't leave, we'll kill you. And then you're forced to leave. There's no way of recovering it. Whereas in New Vegas, with the NCR and the Legion in New Vegas, if you messed up and you got like really, really low reputation with the NCR, once you got halfway through New Vegas, you got a karma reset, which means, okay, if I wanted to go over the NCR instead, I can now go over the NCR. I'm just going to stop rambling here. This video's going on for much longer than I thought it was going to be. Maybe a part 3. Don't know. Also, kind of having to think about the points I'm trying to make, because Fallout 4, it's a good game. It's not a terrible game. I just think New Vegas did so many things that were better. Like, you know what? no part 3 to this, to why New Vegas is better than Fallout 4, but part 3 is going to be why Fallout 4 is better than New Vegas. So yeah, I guess I'll see you when I make that video, whichever video you decide to watch next, whether it be past, present, future, I don't care. You just watch my videos, and I'll like you for it. I've been AtheistAnime, I'll see you later, goodbye.